Hi everyone, this is Chris with Putt 29 Golf. The purpose of the video today is to introduce you to a putting aid called the Hammy board. And I want to explain the features and benefits and how to use the Hammy board to improve your putting stroke. The first thing I want to do though is talk to you about a couple of very common errors or challenges that I see with golfers in their putting stroke. Two that are very common. One is I see a lot of golfers, when they take the putter back, they rotate the putter head a lot. They open it way up to the right of the target and finish with it closed way left of the target, right? So they take it back, the face opens, they try to find square, and the face shuts. Okay, what's going on there? Well, there's a lot of face rotation in those strokes. So one of the things we're trying to do in a putting stroke is start the ball on our intended line on a consistent basis. Well, when you introduce a lot of rotation, that becomes more and more challenging. Okay, so that's one error that I see a lot. The other one that I see a lot is the profile of what the putting stroke looks like. And what I mean by that is how far back the putting stroke goes and how far through the putting stroke goes. And what I see very common is a golfer that takes the putter back pretty short and then finishes way out here. So it's short back, long through. That's the most common type of stroke I see. And matter of fact, sometimes when I give a golfer, let's say a 6-foot putt, a 15-foot putt, and a 30-foot putt, and I look at the profile of their putting stroke, the length they take the putter back barely changes. So that type of golfer, that type of putting stroke is trying to control pace or speed or distance control, however you want to say it, by how much they accelerate, right? So if I always take the putter back about, let's say 6-8 inches, and I've got a 6-footer, or I have a 15-footer or a 30-footer, what I'm going to change is how hard I try to hit the ball. Not ideal, especially if you travel, because as green speeds change and they're different from tournament to tournament, sometimes even day to day or course to course, it becomes more and more challenging to try to control your pace with that type of putting stroke. Okay, so let's talk about the Hammy board. The Hammy board has primarily 4 features, but the 2 biggest ones that I want to see the Hammy board help you with are the first one where we don't rotate the face as much, and the second one where we make a little bit different profile on our putting stroke. Let me explain. If I just put this down and I bring a ball in, it sits right here. Okay, so what you can see from that vantage point there is that you can see this putter board has square lines as you go back, and they're numbered. Here's the ball, and we got number 1, 2, 3, etc. So as you take the putter back, if you open the face, you can clearly see that with this board. Now, when we're playing golf, we're not going to watch our putter move, but as we practice and we're trying to reduce the amount of rotation in our putting stroke, this can be very, very helpful. Because what would be better is if we could take a putting stroke and set it to where this is very square, right? And as we come through, we keep it square. So we're not opening and shutting, okay? So by having the square lines on this board, it can illustrate for you, it can give you immediate feedback on your own as to how much you're opening and closing the putter face. And I'm not here to say that you should have necessarily 0 opening and 0 closing. That would be awesome if you could do it, because you'd be putting like Steve Stricker as an example. But you certainly want to minimize how much rotation that you have, okay? Now, the second thing that I mentioned is the numbers on this board. And you'll see that the tip out here of the board is red. So, like I said, a little bit more symmetrical, and in many cases, what I see on tour is that a lot of times the putting stroke, instead of being short back, long through, it's actually longer back and shorter through. So, but what I like to see is that you become pretty symmetrical. So if I take this putter back to, like, say, number 4 here, then I want to finish at about number 4 here. Okay, so I'm not here to there. I want to take it back kind of the 4 to the 4. Now, I didn't make the putter board actually symmetrical, because what I want you to think about when you see this red is that, hey, I need to be stopping, you know, very quickly. So even if I take it to a 6 all the way back to here, you know, I still want to be stopping right in here. So if you try a little bit more of a symmetrical stroke and start determining pace or setting the pace or distance control on the golf ball, by having a symmetrical stroke, you determine your speed based on the size of your stroke, not on how much you accelerate. So, you know, here to here, and how far does that go at your tempo, okay? Because think about it another way. If you're short back along through on that 6-footer, 15-footer, and 30-footer, your tempo on all 3 of those putts is different. It has to be. So how can that create consistency, okay? So it's best if you can get a little bit more symmetrical. So again, however far you take it this way, you want to take it this way. And a good way to do this, even on the course, if you don't have a board, is to use a couple of golf balls, right? Set them about the same distance from the center. Take it back to there, take it to there. Back to there, take it to there. So the 2 primary purposes of the Hammy board: 1, reduce rotation, keep the putter face more square. 2, learn to develop a symmetrical profile in your putting stroke. The other 2 things that the putting board does, it does have holes in it. And when I say that, it has holes on each side, there, 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 and out front. So you can create a gate, right, to create a neutral path. So it can help you with the gate. And then if you get this board set up perfectly at your target, right, you can use a laser, you can use an alignment stick, whatever it is that you have that you can use to make sure that this gets perfectly lined up, this arrow, to your intended target line or start line. Then when you put your putter down, that line right there is perfectly square to your target. So it can help you with alignment. And many of you are challenged with your alignment, trust me. So those are really the 4 things: alignment, a gate for path, keeping the rotation at a minimum, and making a more symmetrical stroke. So those 4 benefits, boy, they can help a lot of golfers. Now these are available, they're $50. They're available at Sticks 96 Golf in Wichita, Kansas, where you could buy them, or online at putt29golf.com. You can buy them there, and there's about a $10 shipping across the U.S. So Hammy putting board can help you in many ways, and hope this video helps explain that. Okay? We'll see you next time.